They said building a house on water wouldn't last. Not because it couldn't float, but because it couldn't survive. At sunrise, steel pontoons were lowered onto a silent lake. The water barely moved, as if watching carefully. This wasn't just construction, it was a challenge. Steel beams were locked across the floating base, bolt by bolt. The platform shifted slightly with every step, reminding everyone that this home would never sit still like one built on land. Underneath, cross supports were welded into place. Sparks reflected across the surface before fading into the water. Thick marine plywood covered the frame, secured tightly. Then a waterproof membrane was sealed across the floor, because on water, protection is everything. Slowly, walls began to rise. Wooden studs stood tall, corner brackets locked them together. Exterior panels wrapped around the structure. What started as a floating platform now looked like a real home. A large opening was cut at the front. Sunlight poured through as the panoramic window frame was installed. When the glass settled into place, the lake reflected perfectly, as if the house belonged there. Roof beams stretched across the top. Panels followed. Waterproof layers sealed the structure from wind and rain.
Almost got it.
The shell was complete.
There we go, that's tight.
Inside, electrical wiring ran through hidden
All right,
spaces.
push it in steady
Plumbing
now.
lines
Got
were
it, going
secured
in smooth.
beneath the floor.
Good, let's get the next one.
Insulation filled the walls to prepare for cold nights over open water. Drywall closed the interior. Ceilings were finished. Wooden flooring clicked into place, plank by plank, turning the empty shell into a warm living space. Kitchen cabinets were installed facing the lake. A countertop settled perfectly into position. Beside the glass wall, a built-in sofa created the perfect place to sit and watch the water. Outside, deck boards extended around the house. Railings were fixed firmly. Final waterproof ceiling protected
Hold it
every
steady
inch.
there. Okay,
Then,
sliding it in now.
Evening arrived.
Good, now for the next
workers
one.
stepped away. The lake grew quiet. One by one, interior lights turned on. Warm light spilled across the water as the house gently moved with the smallest ripples. It didn't fight the lake. It moved with it. This was no longer just a structure. It was a floating sanctuary, balanced, steady, alive. Not built against nature, but built with it.